Hey Cinephiles, this is JS with Cineflect. It's been an exceptional year for cinema, and arguably no genre has been more fruitful in 2016 than that of horror. From film festival favorites, sleeper hits, and the occasional Hollywood surprise, filmmakers have been digging up new ways to scare us silly, make us laugh, or deeply disturb us. If you dare watch, here's my ranking of the 10 best horror films of 2016. Number 10, The Greasy Strangler.
I am the Greasy Strangler.
You won't find a weirder film on this list, or anywhere else for that matter. After his most memorable addition to ABC's of Death 2, writer-director Jim Hosking continued his unique brand of gross-out horror comedy with The Greasy Strangler, a film I might best describe as a deep-fried Napoleon Dynamite. The father-son misadventure breaks the sound barriers of common decency and lives up to its name again and again. I don't think I've laughed more or been more nauseated in a film this year. Number 9, Under the Shadow. Set in the midst of the Iran-Iraq War, a mother struggles to protect her daughter in their Tehran home between missile scares and other worldly threats. Under the Shadow has shades of the Babadook and the Devil's Backbone as it turns a domestic space into a spirit-ridden, war-torn edifice. While the recipe is familiar, the unique setting with undertones of oppression are fresh ingredients for Babak Anbari's directorial debut. Number 8, Train to Busan. An early morning train ride takes an unexpected detour on the brink of a zombie outbreak in South Korea. Train to Busan grows increasingly hokey, but it earnestly explores the consequences of working together versus surviving alone. The journey delivers satisfying action along its tracks of easy sentimentality and sheer entertainment. It's Snowpiercer meets Dawn of the Dead in one of the most imaginative zombie flicks in years. Number 7, The Conjuring 2.
The neighbours donated them and I hung them up hoping they'd keep things from moving around.
Has it worked?
No.
In many ways, this feels more like a remake than a sequel, and this formula is in danger of reaching the point of parody. Nevertheless, the improved characterization of Ed and Lorraine Warren, played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, is so refreshingly pure that it finally won me over. It's less scary than the original, but even more creative in its use of every object in every room. Wan's trademark camera moves are superb tension contraptions used to unfold each scene. The Conjuring 2 also has one of my favorite single shots of the year, wherein the camera doesn't even move. Number 6, Green Room. Sitting down to this survival horror thriller felt like stepping into a bear trap. Few films in memory have managed to make me perpetually stressed even after I'd left the theater. Captured with a slick combination of dread and wit, a punk band winds up in a tight spot in what is essentially Night of the Living Neo-Nazis. As grisly and gritty as Green Room becomes, it's a feat that it's able to wrap up so nicely. This is not for the faint of heart, weak of stomach, or short of nerves, but it is a tremendous treat for genre fans.
Careful now.
Number 5, The Love Witch. Samantha Robinson is pure magic in this peculiar yet matter-of-fact account of a modern-day heartbreaking witch. The suspense is delightfully laid back as we watch her spin webs of seduction that foolhardy men are more than willing to step right into. The film's Technicolor aesthetic is timeless and makes every scene pop in this pulpy, feminist sex comedy horror hybrid.
Well, what do men want?
Just a pretty woman to love and to take care of them.
Number 4, Demon. Nothing quite ruins a wedding like a possession. This dark dramedy sees a foreign groom become the life and death of a Polish dinner party, much to his bride's bewilderment. The film's drab landscape, captured with minimal flair, makes for a cold welcome. Ite Turan submits an eerie lead performance that grows in range throughout the night. A doctor and a priest struggle to resolve the problem, while the father of the bride does a lousy job at guest control. Demon is a wedding movie like none other, and I'm so glad I RSVP'd. Number 3, Don't Breathe. Wait Until Dark is turned on its head when a trio of desperate teens plan to rob a blind man sitting on a small fortune. From the moment they break in, my eyeballs were glued to the screen as the scenario is surveyed and revamped in brilliant ways. This is the rare case where I found myself rooting for both sides until I was forced to find loyalty. Fede Alvarez follows up his impressive Evil Dead remake with what might be the biggest surprise of the year. Number 2, The Wailing. Imagine memories of murder by way of The Exorcist. Now imagine the result is as amazing as that sounds. Writer-director Na Hong-jin masterfully melds mystery, slapstick comedy, and spiritual horror as a quiet Korean village is struck with a deadly illness. The Wailing features one of the most riveting exorcism sequences I've ever seen, which highlights the film's top-shelf cast, including an incredible child performance from Kim Hwan-hee. Number 1, The Witch. Within 7 minutes, this film had my jaw on the floor as it made perfectly clear that it wasn't going to shy away from anything and would take its subject matter seriously. And yet, for most of its running time, the bravura filmmaking depicts diverse horror with mere glimpses and the power of suggestion. It's an alarming account of one family's wrestle with repentance and devotion to religion as they build a new homestead in 17th century New England. It's the attention to detail and commitment of an intimate cast that pulled this indie enterprise off the ground. It's enough to ensure that horror fans are waiting with bated breath for writer-director Robert Eggers' next project. In one of the best years for horror films in recent memory, The Witch wears the crown.
Repentant how she'll be. From evil I will turn to thee.
That's my list of the 10 best horror films of 2016, and there's several more worth seeking out. What are your favorite horror films of the year? Share your list and join the discussion in the comments below. Subscribe to Cineflect for movie lists, video essays, and more. Until next time, this is JS. Thanks for watching.